Hey everyone, welcome back to another practice round for Disc Golf Valley Players Tour Week 7. This one's going to be a little bit more raw. I haven't practiced these a ton, so this is kind of my playthrough right now to figure it out. And this is a line I saw from MM93, taking it way out here left, or way out here to the right, and going glide water skip, or light glide, to just get over here and get safe. I feel like the skip just brings too much trouble into play and potentially going long. If you get safe in here, you got a good shot at getting that musket, or I think I'm going to try the river, getting up in here to be pretty safe to get in this birdie. So it's that glide water skip or light glide off the tee, aiming way out to the right, letting it swing in, and then thrown down towards the basket with your musket, river, sapphire, etc., whatever it is you got in your bag to get that one. On 11, I take the Accurate Glide Sapphire. I put this top chevron right on that OB stakes you can see there. And I usually add a little bit of anhyzer. I just a slight bit there because of that 2 wind that's pushing it. Probably could have even gotten away with doing none there. It's kind of forgiving within a few degrees of angle there. And we got 60 feet, throw it with about 40 power to get in that birdie. So that's the Glide Sapphire. Aim low left, give it a little bit of anhyzer so it can swing out and glide up there nicely, not deal with even potentially getting in that water. This wind, I'm going to take the Paradigm. I'm usually going to go glide skip drive here, but throw it straight out there on the forehand and let it bounce up the hillside here. Even if it's that tree, that's okay. It's not too difficult to scramble up there to 337. I'm going to go the windbreak musket and just get it low up here, let the wind push it out, and then the ground play, slide it up to that basket. With less wind, you can take a glide skip drive off the tee, and then your warship or your glide mid or roll musket into the green for that birdie. This one, frankly, it's been giving me some trouble. I want to get this wide enough, but of course too wide, and you ended up hitting those trees over there on the right. The real gap to hit is kind of out there in the distance. It's not this first close one. This wind is tough. I'm usually aiming here with a straight pullback. This one I'm going to aim a little bit further to the left and give it, I think, a full disc of anhyzer. Let's see if that works there. Too much. It snuck through. It's a sneaky extra look. I'll probably try this one again to try and get a better look at that. 140. I'm going to aim it off to the right for that wind. Maybe about 120. Oh, almost had that. It's a tough distance. So rolling to these bushes makes it tough to get out of if they're in the way. I'm just going to rotate the world a little bit just to make sure that those bushes are not in the way. Let me grab it. What's going on here? There we go. Okay, let's try this one more time because this is definitely one you want to have a shot at the eagle coming into it, but you definitely don't want to be taking worse than birdie. Let's come straight down to the shadow and a straight pullback. Should hit the gap nicely out there. Yes. And then skip. And I'm just hoping that this tree is not in the way. There you go. There's a more standard looking shot up here to 83 feet to throw in for that nice eagle. That'll be a great eagle to get if we get it in the Players Tour. If not, we just want to make sure we're at least getting that birdie. It's a tough scramble if you hit those early trees. Here on 14, and take the Accurate Glide Sapphire, aim it a little bit lower, and let the wind push this one. I'm usually giving a little bit of anhyzer, and slide it up here just fine to be up next to the basket. The Glide Sapphire is planning to get there. You do not have to go with the Rive unless you have a really stiff headwind you're dealing with. This is a crazy one. In this right to left wind, I'm taking a line from Westy, slide right with the glide roll Rive, and aim nice and low on this road. This should get you under this first tree, and ideally slow down a little bit on that bush, and drop you right here by the basket. This is one I've run a lot of times. If I have a left to right wind, there's a good chance I'm going with the Glide Sapphire instead. This, to me, is the scariest wind, and I'm going to try something, but honestly, I don't know how it's going to work. I'd even consider laying up if I got this wind, because that 2 is just enough to push us further and potentially go right in that water. Yep. And that's my fear with the 2 wind. So honestly, I'm least confident with. I think I have to give it some anhyzer and take some disc off of that to have my best shot at this with the 2 wind. Let's see. Yep. And across and just sneak an OB. But honestly, that's okay here. On 15, if you're getting par, you're going to be doing okay. You're not going to, just don't get double bogey like that was showing. Get down there, make sure you're at least getting par, so crossing on that green. Here on 16, this is typically a glide sapphire off the tee for me. With this 3 headwind, I'm going to disc that up to the glide water skip rive and make sure I get out there a little bit closer to the green, so it's less of a tricky approach coming in. Still with this wind, it's going to be tricky getting in regardless. This 290, I think I can go sapphire, just get it low to penetrate in that wind. Just enough to get over it. It does get there just fine. I'll run this one more time, see if we can get a more standard wind to show you. Usually a glide sapphire to roll musket. It's going to be a little bit of a tougher wind, but I can still go glide sapphire because it's not as much of a headwind this time. And the glide sapphire, I feel comfortable getting it a little bit closer to this OB line on the left side. And I'm here 292. I'm still going to go with the glide sapphire on the forehand coming in. A little bit higher, can get up there and swing in. Definitely go forehand into this green. Way more forgiving than the backhand, which is fading out towards the OB line. The forehand is fading towards these hay bales along the edge of the green there. Let's look at hole 17. 17, you need your turn glide driver. For me, that's the light glide paradigm. Sliding left, just give me a little more room to work. And I aim down near the path, the top chevron of the path out there in the distance. This gets a straight pullback, and then let the turn glide driver do all the work of moving left down the fairway, and then straightening out straight back towards the basket. Of course, this gets tricky and trickier winds. In a really difficult left to right wind, you might consider going glide sapphire or a roll rive on backhand. If you get a really big tailwind, definitely take the sapphire down there so you're not going too far OB. This is actually, I think, a pretty tricky wind here. I'm going to go with this wind, glide water skip rive, and just make sure that I land in bounds. This is going to get lucky in bounds. I'm not going with a skip because I don't want to skip too far and go past this wall. My typical play here is actually going to be sapphire off the tee. So let's see if I can get a chance to show you that one. This is going to be the accurate roll sapphire up here to the green, and then the tap in for this birdie. The next play coming, I think, is that I'm going to show you with a different wind, is actually a way more reliable play in my opinion, because if you can take the accurate disc off the tee, okay, here we are back to the real 18. Take accurate glide sapphire, slide left, and aim up near these trees, even with a little bit of anhyzer, and you're just getting out here and getting safe. There's not much that can go wrong there with the glide sapphire off the tee. Don't hit those trees, and you're in good position. 387 is uphill. Aim right at Reese's sign, and give that glide sapphire another straight pullback. It's going to fade up here and fade right into the safe green area. And then you have a little bit of an uphill throw in with that raised basket to get that birdie. I think that's a more standard play, like the card you more birdies. Guys, hope this practice round helped you out. I'll put some other ones up coming soon, and hope this helps you to stay bogey free.